difficult, Dr. Harper, that in only 2 short years, you've taken on the spirit of Brooklyn.
Well, that's very gratifying, Miss Brewster.
You see, living here, right next to the church all our lives, we've seen so many ministers come and go. The spirit of Brooklyn, we always say, is friendliness. And your sermons are not so much sermons as friendly talks.
Personally, I've always enjoyed my talks with Cardinal Gibbons. Or have I met him yet?
No, not yet, dear. Are the biscuits good?
Bully.
Won't you have a biscuit, Dr. Harper?
Oh, no, I'm afraid I'll have no appetite for dinner now. I always eat too many of your biscuits, just to taste your lovely jam.
Oh, but you haven't tried the quince. We always add a little apple in with it to take the tartness out.
Oh, no, thank you.
We'll send you over a jar.
No, you keep it here to be sure that I can have your lovely biscuits with it.
Oh, I do hope they don't make us use this imitation flour again. I mean, with this war trouble. It may not seem charitable of me, but I've almost come to the conclusion that this Mr. Hitler isn't a Christian.
If only Europe were on another planet.
Europe, sir?
Yes, Teddy.
But you've gone the other way.
Gun?
Now, Teddy.
To the west. There's your danger. There's your enemy, Japan.
Why, yes, of course.
Now, Teddy.
No, Aunt Abby. Not so much talk about Europe and more about the canal.
Well, let's not talk about war. Won't you have another cup of tea, dear?
No, thank you, Aunt Abby.
Dr. Harper?
No, thank you. I must admit, Miss Abby, that war and violence seem far removed from these surroundings.
It is peaceful here, isn't it?
Yeah, peaceful. The virtues of another day. They're all here in this house. The gentle virtues that went out with candlelight and good manners and low taxes.
It's one of the oldest houses in Brooklyn. It's just as it was when Grandfather Brewster built and furnished it, except for the electricity, and we use as little as possible. It was Mortimer who persuaded us to put it in.
Yes, I can understand that. Your nephew Mortimer seems only to live by electric light.
Oh, yes, the poor boy has to work so late. I understand he's taking Elaine with him to the theater again tonight. Teddy, your brother Mortimer will be here a little later.
Delighted.
We're so happy it's Elaine Mortimer takes to the theater with him.
Well, it's a new experience for me to wait up until 3 o'clock in the morning for my daughter to be brought home.
Dr. Harper, I do hope you don't disapprove of Mortimer.
Well,
We feel so guilty, Sister Martha and I, since it was here in our own home that your daughter met Mortimer.
of course, and so I'll say immediately that I believe Mortimer himself to be a very fine gentleman. But I must also admit that I've watched the growing intimacy between him and my daughter with some trepidation. And for what reason, Miss Abby?
Oh, you mean his stomach, Dr. Harper.
Stomach?
His dyspepsia. He's bothered with it so, poor boy.
Oh, no, Miss Abby, I'll be quite frank with you. I'm speaking of his unfortunate connection with the theater.
The theater? Oh, no, Dr. Harper. Mortimer writes for a New York newspaper.
I know, Miss Abby, but a dramatic critic is constantly exposed to the theater. And I don't doubt that some of them do develop an interest in it.
Oh, well, now, Mortimer, you need have no fear of that. Why, Mortimer hates the theater.
Really?
Oh, yes, he writes awful things about the theater. And you can't blame the poor boy. He was so happy writing about real estate, which he really knew something about. And then they made him take this terrible night position. But, as he says, the theater can't last much longer anyway, and in the meantime, it's a living. Well, I suppose I'd give the theater maybe 1 or 2 years, and then after that... Oh, who do you suppose that can be? No, thank you, Teddy, I'll go. Oh, come in, Mr. Brophy.
Hello, Miss
Very well, Miss Brewster.
What news have you brought me?
Colonel, we have nothing to report.
Splendid. Thank you, gentlemen. At ease.
You know Dr. Harper.
Sure. Hello, Dr. Harper.
Well, we come for the toys for the Christmas fund.
Oh, yes.
Splendid work you men do, fixing up discarded toys to give poorer children a happier Christmas.
Well, it gives us something to do when we have to sit around the station. You get tired of playing cards. You start cleaning a gun, and next thing you know, you shot yourself in the foot.
Teddy, go upstairs and get that big box from Aunt Martha's room. How is Mrs. Brophy today? Mrs. Brophy's been quite ill.
Pneumonia.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, she's better now. A little weak still.
I'm going to get you some beef broth to take to her.
Oh, don't bother, Miss Abby. You've done so much for her already.
Oh, we made it this morning. Sister Martha is taking some to poor Mr. Benitsky right now. I won't be a minute. Sit down and be comfortable, all of you.
She shouldn't go to all that trouble.
Listen, try to stop her or her sister from doing something nice, and for nothing, they don't even care how you vote.
When I received my call to Brooklyn and moved in next door, my wife wasn't very well, and when she died of months before, well, if I know what pure kindness is and absolute generosity, it's because I've known the Brewster sisters.
Where's Teddy?
Colonel, you promised not to do that. I have to call a cabinet meeting to get relief for those supplies. I've been up there with the cabinet now.
He used to do that in the middle of the night. The neighbors raised Cain with us. They're a little afraid of him anyway.
He's quite harmless.
I suppose he does think he's Teddy Roosevelt. There are a lot worse people he could think he was.
Damn shame. A nice family like this catching a cuckoo.
Well, I heard his father, the old girl's brother, was some sort of genius, wasn't he? And their father, Teddy's grandfather, well, it seems to me, he was kind of crazy too.
Yeah, he was crazy, like a fox. He made $1 million.
Really? Here in Brooklyn?
Yeah, that paid in medicine. He was some kind of a quack of some sort. Old Sergeant Edwards remembers him. He used this house here as a sort of clinic, tried him out on people.
Yeah, I heard he used to make mistakes occasionally too.
The department never bothered him too much because he was pretty useful on autopsies sometimes, especially in poison cases.
Well, whatever he did, he left his daughters fixed for life. Thank God for that.
Yeah, not that they ever spend any of it on themselves.
Yeah, I'm well acquainted with their charities.
Nah, you don't know a tenth of it. Back when I was with the Missing Persons Bureau, we were trying to trace an old man we never did find. Do you know there's a renting agency with this house on this list of furnished rooms? They don't rent rooms, but you can bet anybody who comes in looking for a room will go away with a decent meal and probably a few dollars in the kit.
Yeah, it's just their way of digging out people to do some good to.
Well, now, isn't this nice?
Good afternoon, Miss Brewster.
How do you do, Mr. Brophy? Dr. Harper and Officer O'Hara.
How are you, Miss Brewster? We just popped in for the Christmas toys.
Oh, yes, Teddy's Army and Navy. Oh, they wear out. They're all packed.
Teddy's just upstairs after them.
Oh,
It
yes.
seems he needs cabinet to okay it.
Oh, of course. Oh, I hope Mrs. Brophy's better.
Oh, she's a lot better, thank you, ma'am. Your sister just after some soup for me to get to her.
Oh, yes. We made it this morning, and I just took some to a poor man who broke ever so many bones.
Oh, you're back, Martha. How's Mr. Benitsky?
Well, dear, it's pretty serious, I'm afraid. The doctor was there, and he's going to amputate him.
Oh, can we be present?
No, dear, I did ask, but he says it's against the rules of the hospital.
And you couldn't be of any service, and you must spare yourself something.
Oh, here's the broth, Mr. Brophy. Be sure it's good and hot.
Yes, ma'am.
Nah, this is fine. It'll make a lot of kids happy. That O'Malley boy's nuts about soldiers.
That's General Miles. I've retired him. What's this? The Oregon?
Now, Teddy dear, put it back.
But the Oregon goes to Australia.
Now, Teddy?
No, I've given my word to Fighting Bob Evans.
But Teddy,
What's the difference what kid gets it? Bobby Evans, Izzy Cohen? Well, we'll be running along now. Thank you very much.
Not at all. Goodbye.
And I must be getting along too.
Oh, before
Shut! The blockhouse!
The blockhouse?
oh, the stairs are always San Juan Hill.
Have you ever tried to persuade him that he wasn't Teddy Roosevelt?
Oh, no.
Oh, why, he's so happy being Teddy Roosevelt.
There was once, remember, Martha? A long time ago, we thought if he were George Washington, it might be a change for him.
But he stayed under his bed for days and just wouldn't be anybody.
Well,
And we'd much rather he were Mr. Roosevelt than nobody.
as long as he's happy, and what's more important, you're happy. Now you'll make sure he signs these.
What are they?
Dr. Harper has made all the arrangements for Teddy to go to Happy Dale Sanitarium after we pass on.
But why should Teddy sign any papers now?
Well, it's better to have it all settled. If the Lord should take you away suddenly, perhaps we couldn't persuade Teddy to commit himself. And that would make an unfortunate legal procedure. Mr. Witherspoon is to understand that it's to be kept on file until the time comes to use them.
Mr. Witherspoon, who's he?
He is the superintendent of Happy Day.
Dr. Harper has arranged for him to drop by tomorrow or the next day to meet Teddy.
Well, I better be riding along, or Elaine will be over here looking for me.
Oh, give our love to Elaine. And Dr. Harper, please don't think too harshly of Mortimer for being a dramatic critic. Somebody has to do those things.
Did you just have tea? Isn't it rather late?
Yes, and dinner's going to be late too.
So, why?
Teddy, good news for you. You're going to Panama and dig another lot for the canal.
Delighted! Bully, that's just bully! I shall go and prepare at once for the journey.
Harry,
Child!
while I was out.
Well, dear, I couldn't wait, and I didn't know what time you'd be back, and I just didn't know, and Dr. Harper was coming.
But all by yourself.
Oh, I got along just fine.
I'll run right downstairs and see.
Oh, no, dear, there wasn't time, and I was all alone.
Well,
Martha, just look in the window seat. Oh, it's Elaine. Come in, dear.
Good afternoon, Miss Abby. Good afternoon, Miss Martha. I thought Father was here.
oh, he just this minute left. Didn't you meet him, dear?
No, I took the shortcut through the cemetery. Mortimer hasn't come yet?
No, dear.
Oh, he asked me to meet him here. Do you mind if I wait?
Not at all.
Oh, come sit down, dear.
But we must speak to him about doing this to you.
Doing what?
Oh dear, he was brought up to know better. When a gentleman is taking a young lady out, he should call for her at her house.
Oh, there's something about calling for a girl at a parsonage that discourages any young man who doesn't embroider.
Well, he's done it too often, and we're going to speak to him.
Oh, please don't. After young men whose idea of nightlife was to take me to prayer meetings, it's wonderful to be able to go to the theatre almost every night of my life.
Oh, well, dear, it's comforting for us too, because if Mortimer has to see some of these plays he has to see, it's nice to know he's sitting next to a minister's daughter.
Oh, my goodness, Elaine, what must you be thinking of us not having the tea things cleared by now?
Now, don't you do anything in the kitchen, Abby, until Mortimer comes, and then I'll come and give you a hand. Mortimer should be here any minute now.
Yes, Father was to be surprised not to find me at home. I better run over and say good night to him.
Oh, it's a shame you missed him, dear.
If Mortimer comes, you tell him I'll be right back.
still being done, even in Brooklyn.
Hello, Mortimer.
Oh, Abby.
How are you, dear?
All right, and you look well? Haven't changed much since yesterday.
My goodness, it was yesterday, wasn't it? We're seeing a good deal of you lately. Come, let's sit down.
Abby, haven't we something to do in the kitchen? You know what? The tea things.
Oh, yes, the tea things, yeah. You two just make yourselves at home.
Yes,
Just
make yourselves at home.
Well, can't you take a hint?
No, that was pretty obvious. A lack of inventiveness, I should say.
Yes, that's exactly what you would say.
Where do you want to go for dinner?
I don't care. I'm not very hungry.
Well, I just had breakfast. I suppose we'll wait until after the show.
But that'll make it pretty late, won't it?
Not with the little stinker we're seeing tonight. From what I've heard about it, we'll be at Blake's by 10 o'clock.
You ought to be fair to these plays.
How are these plays fair to me?
I've never seen you walk out on a musical.
That musical isn't opening tonight.
No?
Oh, darling, you'll have to learn the rules. With a musical, you always have 4 changes of title and 3 postponements. Oh, they liked it in New Haven, but it needs a lot of work.
Oh, I was hoping it was a musical.
I have such a light mind.
Not a bit. Musicals somehow have a humanizing effect on you. After a serious play, we join the proletariat in the subway and I listen to a lecture on the drama. After a musical, you take me home in a taxi and you make a few passes.
Now, wait a minute, darling. That's a very inaccurate piece of reporting.
Oh, I will admit that after the Beerman play, you told me I had nice legs. And I have too.
For a minister's daughter, you sure know a lot about life. Where'd you learn it?
In the choir loft.
I'll have to explain that sometime to you, darling. The close connection between eroticism and religion.
Oh, religion never gets as high as the choir loft. Which reminds me, I better run over and tell Father please not to wait up for me tonight.
I've never been able to rationalize it.
What?
My falling in love with a girl who lives in Brooklyn.
Fallen in love? You're not stupidly articulate, are you?
There's only one way to regain my self-respect, and that's to keep you in New York.
Did you say keep?
No. I've come to the conclusion that you're holding out for the legalities.
Oh, I can afford to be a good girl for quite a few years yet.
I can't wait that long. When can we be married in a hurry? Say tonight.
I'm afraid Father will insist on officiating.
Oh, goodness me. I bet your father could make even the marriage service sound pedestrian.
You're not by any chance writing a review of this, are you?
Oh, forgive me, darling. It's an occupational disease. I make a bad play tonight. A good notice.
Now, darling, don't pretend you love me that much.
I'll be sure to tell your father not to wait up tonight.
Oh, no, tonight I think I better tell him to wait up.
I'll telephone Winchell to publish the banns.
Nevertheless.
All right. Everything formal and legal, but not later than next month.
Darling, I'll talk Nolan Father and set the date.
Oh, no, we'll have to see what's in rehearsal. There'll be a lot of other first nights in October.
Hello, Mortimer.
Oh, how are you, Mr. President?
Bully, thank you. Just bully. What news have you brought me?
Just this. The country is squarely behind you.
Yes, I know. Isn't it wonderful? Well, goodbye. Goodbye.
Where are you off to, Teddy?
Panama.
Panama's the cellar. He digs logs for the canal down there.
You're very sweet with him, and he's very fond of you.
Well, he was always my favorite brother.
Favourite? Were there more of you?
There's another brother, Jonathan.
I've never heard of him. Your aunt's never mentioned him.
No, we don't like to talk about Jonathan. He left Brooklyn early, by request. Yeah, he was the kind of boy that would cut worms in two with his teeth.
What became of him?
I don't know. He wanted to become a surgeon like grandfather, but he wouldn't go to medical school first, and his practice got him into trouble.
Aren't you two going to be late for the theater?
Oh, we're skipping dinner. We don't have to start for another half an hour.
Oh, well then, I'll leave you two alone together again.
Don't bother, darling. I've got to go home and talk to Father. Before I go out with you, he likes to pray over me a little. I'll be right back. I just confessed the secretary.
Well, if the praying too long, I'd have time to lead you beside distilled waters.
Oh, Mortimer, that's the first time would be a good influence for you.
Oh, by the way, I'm gonna marry her.
What? Oh, darling! Oh, Martha, come right in here. I've got the most wonderful news for you. Mortimer and Elaine are going to be married.
Married? Oh, Mortimer.
Oh, we hoped it would happen like this.
Well, Elaine must be the happiest girl in the world.
Happy? Just look at her leaping over those gravestones. Say, what's that?
Oh, that's Anna B. Stout ascending to heaven.
No. Standing on Mrs. Stout's left head, that bird. That's a red-crested swallow. I've only ever seen one of those before in my life.
I don't know how you could be thinking of a bird right now. What with Elaine and the engagement and everything.
Well, it's a vanishing species. Well, Thoreau was very fond of them. By the way, I left a large envelope around here last week. It was one of my chapters on my book on Thoreau. Have you seen it?
Well, dear, if you left it here, it must be here somewhere.
What are your plans? When are you going to be married? Surely there's something more you can tell us about Elaine.
Elaine? Oh, yeah, Elaine, I thought it was brilliant.
What was, dear?
My chapter on Thoreau.
Well, I think that when Elaine gets back, we must have a little celebration. We must drink to your happiness. Oh, Martha, isn't there some of that Lady Baltimore cake left?
Yes.
And I'll open a bottle of wine.
I want to think it happened in this room.
Now, where could I put that?
Well, I should think with your fiancé sitting beside you tonight at the theater, I do hope the play is something you can enjoy for once. It may be something romantic. What's the name of it?
Murder Went Out.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, when the curtain goes up, the first thing you'll see will be a dead body. Come on, Abby.
Yes, dear.
You're going to make plans for Teddy to go to that sanitarium, Happy Day.
Oh, yes, dear. Dr. Harper was here today and brought the papers for Teddy to sign. Here they are.
He's got to go right away.
Well, that's what Dr. Harper thinks, so there are no legal difficulties after we pass on.
He's got to go. He's got to go this minute. Get him up here. He's in the Senate. Get him up here right away.
Oh, there's no such hurry as that, dear.
Oh, when Teddy starts digging in the canal, you can't get his mind on anything else.
He has to go to Happydale tonight. Now.
Oh, dear, that's not until after we're gone.
Right away, I tell you, right away.
Oh, Mortimer, how can you say such a thing? Why, as long as we live, we'll never be separated from Teddy.
I'm frightfully sorry. I got some shocking news for you. Now we're all going to try and keep our heads. You know how we sort of humored Teddy because we thought he was harmless.
Why, he is harmless.
He was harmless. That's why he's got to go to Happydale, why he has to be confined.
Why, Mortimer, why have you suddenly turned on Teddy, your own brother?
You gotta know sometime. It might as well be now. He's killed a man.
Oh, nonsense, dear.
Yeah. There's a body in the window seat.
Yes, dear, we know.
You know?
Of course, dear. It has nothing to do with Teddy.
No, just forget about it. Just forget you ever saw the gentleman.
Forget?
We never dreamed you'd peek.
But who is he?
His name is Hoskins. Adam Hoskins. That's all I really know about him. Except he's a Methodist.
Yes, dear.
That's all you know about him? But how did he get here? I mean, what happened to him?
Well, he died.
Men don't just go into window seats and die.
No, he died first.
Well, how?
Oh, Mortimer, don't be so inquisitive. The gentleman died because he drank wine with poison in it.
Well, how did the poison get in the wine?
Well, dear, we put it in wine because it's less noticeable.
You put it in the wine?
Yes, and I put Mr. Hoskins in the window seat because Dr. Harper was coming.
So you knew what you'd done? You didn't want Dr. Harper to see the body?
Well, not a tea. That would have been very nice. Now, Mortimer, you know the whole thing. You just forget about it. I do think Martha and I have the right to our own little secrets.
Yes. And don't you tell Elaine. Oh, Abby, while I was out, I dropped in on Mrs. Schultz. She's much better, but she would like us to take Junior to the movies again.
Oh, well, we must do that tomorrow or the next day.
Yes, dear, but this time we go where we want to go. I will not have Junior drag me into another of those scary pictures.
Hello, see you guys. Hello, Al? Yeah, do you know who this is? That's right. When I left the office, I told you where I was going, remember? Yeah, well, where did I say? Well, it'll take me about half an hour to get to Brooklyn. What time have you got? Oh, that's right. I must be here. Aunt Abby, Aunt Martha, come in here. What are we going to do? What are we going to do?
What are we going to do about what, dear?
Well, there's a body in there.
Yes, Mr. Hoskins.
Well, for good heavens, I can't turn you over to the police. What am I going to do?
Well, for one thing, dear, you can stop being so excited.
For goodness sake, stop worrying. We told you to forget the whole thing.
Forget? My dear Aunt Abby, can I make you realize that something has to be done?
Now, Mortimer, you behave yourself. You're too old to be flying off the handle like this.
But Mr. Hotchkiss,
Hoskins, dear.
or whatever his name is, you can't leave him in there.
Oh, we don't intend to, dear.
No, Teddy's down in the cellar digging the lock now.
You mean you're going to bury Mr. Hotchkiss in the cellar?
Yes, dear. That's what we did with the others.
Sir, you can't bury Mr. Others?
The other gentleman.
Well, why do you say others? I mean, you mean others? I mean more than one? Others?
Well, dear, let me see. This is 11, isn't it, Abby?
Oh, no, dear. This makes 12.
Oh, I think you're wrong, Abby. I think it's only 11.
Oh, no, dear, because I remember when Mr. Hoskins first came in, it occurred to me he would make an even dozen.
Well, I really don't think we should count the first one.
Oh, well, I was counting the first one, so that makes it 12.
Hello? Hello? Oh, wow. My, it's good to hear your voice.
Oh, well, anyway, they're all buried down in the cellar.
Shh! No, Al, I'm still worried a lot. I was just calling you because I was feeling a little pirambello. You wouldn't know, Al. Look, Al, you gotta get a hold of George. Yeah, he's gotta review that plate tonight. I can't make it. No, George, you're wrong. No, I'll tell you all about it tomorrow. Well, he's gotta cover that plate tonight. Look, this is my department and I'm running it. You get a hold of George. Okay, now, where were we? 12?
Well, Abby thinks we ought to count the first one, and that makes 12.
All right, okay. Who was the first one?
Mr. Midgley. He was a Baptist.
Of course, I still think we can't claim full credit for him, because he just died.
What Martha means is without any help from us. You see, Mr. Midgley came here looking for a room.
It was right after you moved to New York.
Yes, and we didn't think it was right to let that lovely room go to waste when there were so many people who needed it.
He was such a lonely old man.
All his kith and kin were dead, and made him so forlorn and unhappy.
Oh, we felt so sorry for him.
And then, when his heart attack came, and he sat dead in that chair, looking so peaceful. Remember, Mother? We made up our minds right then and there that if we could help other lonely that same piece we were.
And you dropped dead right in that chair. How awful for you.
Oh, no, dear. Why, it was rather like old times. Your grandfather Brewster, he always used to have a cadaver or two around the house. And you see, Teddy had been digging in Panama, and he thought Mr. Midgley was a yellow fever victim.
That he had to be buried immediately.
So we all took him down to Panama and put him in the lock. Now, dear, that's why we told you not to worry about it, because we know exactly what needs to be done.
And that's how all this started. That man walking in here, dropping dead.
Well, of course we realized we couldn't depend on that happening again, so...
Well, you remember all those jars of poison on the shelves in Grandfather's old laboratory all these years?
You know your Aunt Martha's knack for mixing things. You've eaten enough of her piccalilli.
Well, dear, for a gallon of elderberry wine, I take 1 teaspoonful of arsenic, half a teaspoonful of strychnine, and just a pinch of cyanide.
Should have quite a kick.
Oh, yes. As a matter of fact, one of our gentlemen found time to say, "How delicious!"
Well, dear, I'd better get things started in the kitchen.
Oh, I wish you could stay for dinner, dear.
Yes, dear, I'm trying out a new recipe.
I shouldn't need a thing.
Well, I feel so much better now. Oh, you have to wait for Elaine, don't you? Oh, how happy you must be. Well, dear, I leave you alone with your thoughts.
It's you.
Don't be cross, darling. Father could see that I was excited, so I told him about us, and that made it hard for me to get away. But listen, darling, he's not going to wait up for me tonight.
Listen, Elena, you run along home and I'll call you up tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Well, you know I always call you up every day or two.
But we're going to the theatre tonight.
No, we're not.
Well, why not?
Look, Elaine, something's come up.
What, darling? Mortimer, you've lost your job.
I haven't lost my job. I'm just not covering that play tonight. Will you go home?
No, I won't. Certainly you can tell me what's happened.
Oh, no, dear, I can't.
But if we're going to be married,
Married?
have you forgotten that not 15 minutes ago you proposed to me?
I did? Oh yeah, well, as far as I know, that's still on. Look, you run along home. I've got to do something.
Now listen, you can't propose to me 1 minute, then throw me out the house the next.
Elaine, I'm not throwing you out of the house. Will you get out of here?
No, I won't get out of here. Not until I've had some kind of explanation.
Hello? Al? Hold on a minute, will you? All right, so it's important. You can hold on a minute, can't you? Elaine, you're a sweet girl and I love you. But I've got something on my mind and I want you to go home and wait until I call you.
Don't try to be masterful.
Well, when we're married and I got problems to face, I hope you're less tedious and uninspired.
And when we're married, if we're married, I hope I find you adequate.
Elaine! Elaine! Al! Hello? Al?
That's the doorbell, dear, not the telephone. Oh, how do you do? Do come in.
I understand you have a room to rent.
Oh, yes. Do step in.
Are you the lady of the house?
Yes, I'm Miss Brewster. And this is my sister, another Miss Brewster.
My name is Gibbs.
Won't you sit down? Oh, I'm sorry. We were just setting the table for dinner.
Hello? See you, desk.
May I see the room?
You sit down
Is-
a minute.
Oh, why don't you sit down a minute and let's get acquainted?
I won't do much good if I don't like the room.
Is Brooklyn your home?
I haven't got a home.
Oh, the family Brooklyn people.
I haven't got any family.
Oh, all alone in the world?
Oh, let me speak down again. Yeah, Sunny desk. Hello? Sunny desk. Hello, Al? I'm sorry, wrong number.
Well, Martha, well, you come to just the right house. Do sit down.
Oh, well, yeah, more. We got cut off. Look, I can't cover that plate tonight. That's all there is to it. I can't.
What church do you go to? There's an Episcopal church practically next door.
Oh, I'm Presbyterian. Used to be.
Oh, what's George doing in Bermuda? Well, certainly I told him he can go to Bermuda. It's my department, isn't it? Look, you gotta find somebody. Who else is there in the office?
Is there always this much noise?
Oh, he doesn't live with us.
Well, there must be somebody about. Hey, Al, how about that office boy? You know, the bright one. The one we don't like. Yeah, you go and have a look. Hold on.
I'd really like to see the room.
It's upstairs. But won't you try a glass of our wine?
Never touch it.
Oh, we make this ourselves. It's elderberry wine.
Elderberry wine. Huh, I haven't tasted elderberry wine since I was a boy.
Well, there must be some printers about the place. Hey, Al, how about that fellow that sets my copy? He ought to know what I write about. Yeah, his name's Joe. Yeah, third printer on the left. Hey, Al, come on. You might turn out to be the next Burns Mantle.
You have your own elderberry bushes.
Oh no, but the cemetery is full of them.
No, I'm not drinking, but I'm going to start now.
Do you serve meals?
We might. But first, why don't you see if you like our wine?
Mortimer?
Mortimer, not that.
Get out of here! Get out of here! Do you want to be killed? Do you want to be poisoned? Do you want to be...
Now you spoiled everything.
You can't do things like that. I don't know how to explain this to you. It's not only against the law, it's wrong. It's not a nice thing to do. Well, people wouldn't understand. He wouldn't understand.
Abby, we shouldn't have told Mortimer.
Well, what I mean is, this has developed into a very bad habit.
Mortimer, we don't try to stop you doing things you like to do. I don't see why you should interfere with us.
Oh, all right. I'll see the first act and I'll pound the head out of it. But now, you gotta do something for me. Get hold of O'Brien, our lawyer, the head of our legal department. Yeah, have him meet me at the theater. Yeah, now don't let me down now. Yeah, okay, I'm starting right now. Darlings, I've got to go to the theater. I can't get out of it. But before I go, I want you to promise me one thing.
Well, we have to know what it was first.
I love you very much, and I know you love me, and I'll do anything in the world for you. And I want you to do just this little thing for me.
What do you want us to do?
Well, don't do anything. I mean, don't do anything. You don't let anyone in the house and leave Mr. Hoskins right where he is.
Why?
Well, I got a tiny time to think, and I've got quite a little to think about. You know, I wouldn't want anything to happen to you.
Why, what on earth could happen to us?
You'll do this thing for me, won't you?
Well, we were planning on holding services before dinner.
Services?
Why, certainly. You don't think we'd bury Mr. Hoskins without a full Methodist service, do you? And he was a Methodist.
Oh, can't that wait until I get back?
Oh, then you could join us.
Yes.
Oh, Mortimer, you'd enjoy the services, especially the hymns. Remember, Martha, how beautifully Mortimer used to sing in the choir before his voice changed.
Now remember, okay? you do this little thing for me, okay? You're not going to let anybody in the house while I'm gone. It's a promise.
Well,
Oh, Martha, we can do that now that Mortimer's cooperating. All right.
Okay. Now, have you got some paper? I'll try and get back just as soon as I can. Now, there's a man I've got to see.
Oh, here's some stationery. Will this do?
Oh, that'll be fine. I can save time if I write the review on the way to the theater.
well, Mortimer didn't seem quite himself today.
That's only natural. I think I know why.
Why?
Well, he's just become engaged to be married. I suppose that always makes a man nervous.
Well, I'm just so happy for Elaine. And their honeymoon ought to give Mortimer the chance of a real vacation. I don't think he got much rest this summer.
Well, at least he didn't go kiting off China or Spain.
I could never understand why he wanted to go to those places.
Well, I think to Mortimer, the theater has always been pretty small potatoes. He means something big to criticize. Something like the human race.
Oh, Abby, if Mortimer's coming back for the services, we'll need another hymnal. There's one up in my room.
Oh, you know, dear, it's really my turn to read the services, but since you weren't here when Mr. Hoskins came in, I want you to do it.
Oh, that's very nice of you, dear. But are you sure you want me to?
It's only fair.
Well, I think I'll wear my black bombazine and Mother's old brooch.
Oh, I'll get it.
Oh, no, dear, we promised Mortimer we wouldn't let anyone in.
Oh, who do you suppose it is?
I'll have a look. Oh, there's two men there. And I've never seen them before.
Are you sure?
Oh, there's a car at the curb. They must have come in that.
Oh, let me look.
Do you recognize them?
No, they're strangers to me.
Well, let's pretend we're not at home.
Come in, Doctor. This is the home of my youth. When I was a boy, I could not wait to escape from it. Now I must escape back in.
Yeah, Johnny, it's a fine house.
The family must still live here. They have left that stuff all around. There is something unmistakably Brewster about the Brewsters. I do hope they've prepared the fatted calf for the return of the prodigal.
Yeah, I'm hungry. Look, Johnny, see?
It's as if we were expected. A good omen.
Who are you? What are you doing here?
And Abby and Martha, it's Jonathan.
You get out of here!
Now, Jonathan, your nephew, Jonathan.
Oh, no, you're not. You're nothing like Jonathan. So don't pretend you are. You just get out of here.
But I am Jonathan, and this is Dr. Einstein.
And that's not Dr. Einstein either.
Not Dr. Albert Einstein, Dr. Neumann Einstein.
Who are you? You're not our nephew, Jonathan.
And Abby, I still see you wear that lovely garnet ring that Grandma Brewster bought in England. And you, Aunt Martha, you still wear the high collar to hide the scar where Grandfather Brewster's acid burned.
His voice is like Jonathan's.
Have you been in an accident?
No, that's his work. He did this to me. He's a plastic surgeon. He changes people's faces.
But I've seen that face before. Abby, remember last week when we took the little shoes boy to the movies and I was so frightened? It's that
Easy, Johnny, easy. Don't worry, ladies. The last 5 years, I gave Johnny 3 new faces. I gave him a new one right away. This last face, well, I saw that picture too, just before I operated. And I was intoxicated.
See, Doctor, this is your work, this is your fault. Even my own family.
Johnny, you're home in this lovely house. How often he tells me about Brooklyn, about this house, what his aunts love so much. Johnny, they know you. You know it's Jonathan. Speak to him. Tell him so.
Well, Jonathan, it's been a long time. What have you been doing all these years?
Yes, Jonathan, where have you been?
Been in London, South Africa, in Australia, and these last 5 years in Chicago in business with Dr. Einstein.
Oh, we were in Chicago for the World's Fair.
Yes, we found Chicago awfully warm.
Yeah, it got hot for us too.
It's so wonderful to be back in Brooklyn. And Martha and Abby, you do not look any different. You're just as I remembered you. Sweet, charming, hospitable. And what a little Teddy. Did he get into politics? My little brother Teddy, Doctor, he wanted to be president.
Oh, Teddy's fine, just fine, and Mortimer's well, too.
Yes, I know about Mortimer. I've seen his picture at the head of his column. Evidently, he's fulfilled all the early promise of his nasty nature.
We're very fond of Mortimer.
Well, Jonathan, it's been very nice to have seen you again.
It's so lovely to be home.
Well, Martha, we mustn't let one...
These gone cheers must go.
We mustn't let what's on the stove boil over.
Perhaps you should sit in this chair, Jonathan.
That's a good
If
idea.
you're going to stay. And, we'll see you later.
Well, Johnny, where do we go from here? The police got pictures of that face. I got to operate on you right away. We got to find a place to do that. And we got to find a place for Mr. Spinoza.
Oh, don't waste any words on that rat.
But Johnny, we got a hot stiff on our hands.
Forget about Mr. Spinoza.
But you can't leave a dead body on the rump closet. You shouldn't have killed him, Johnny. He's a nice guy. He gives us a lift. And what happens?
He said I look like Boris Karl.
Johnny, we find a place somewhere. I fix you up quick.
Tonight.
Johnny, I'm hungry. I got to eat first. I'm weak.
Jonathan, we're glad you remembered us and took the trouble to come in and say hello. But you were never happy in this house, and we were never happy with you in it. So we've just come in to say goodbye.
And Abby, your feelings towards me come as no surprise. I've spent many, many hours regretting the many heartaches I must have given you as a boy.
You were quite a trial to us, Jonathan.
But my great disappointment is for Dr. Einstein. I promised him that no matter how rushed we were in running through Brooklyn, I would bring him here for one of Aunt Martha's home cooked dinners.
Oh no, I'm afraid that just wouldn't be enough.
Oh, Abby, it's a pretty good sized pot roast.
And pork roast.
Yes, I think the least we can do is to...
We will stay for this year.
We'll hurry it along then.
Yes.
Well, forget a meal anyway.
Jonathan, if you want to freshen up, why don't you use the lavatory in the washroom in Grandfather's old lavatory?
Is that still there?
Yes, it's just as it was. Well, I'll go and help Martha get things started since we're all in a hurry.
Grandfather's old laboratory. That'd make a fine operating room, Doctor.
Too bad you can't use it.
Oh, after you finish with me. Well, we could make a fortune. That ward up in the attic with 10 bedrooms, 10 beds, and all of Brooklyn crying out for your talent.
If I've heard yourself up, Johnny, anything for Brooklyn, I think we're a year too late.
No, you don't know this town. There's always people in Brooklyn looking for new faces.
But so many of the old faces are locked up.
Only a small percentage of them. And the boys at Brooklyn, famous for their generosity in paying to stay out of jail.
Take it easy, Johnny. Your aunts, they don't want us here.
We're staying for dinner.
Yeah, but after dinner.
Oh, you'll be invited.
Oh, that would be beautiful. This nice quiet house. Those aunts of yours, what sweet ladies. I love them already. I get so bad.
No, wait, Doctor. Doctor, you wait till we're invited.
And if they say no?
Doctor, two helpless old women.
Comes to a beautiful dream. Only I hope you're not dreaming. It's so peaceful.
Yeah, that's what makes it so special for us. It is so peaceful. Yes, Annie's, those 5 years in Chicago were among the happiest, busiest of my life. Then we went to Indiana, but I don't think you want to know about our experiences in Indiana.
Well, Jonathan, you've led a very interesting life, I'm sure. But we really shouldn't have allowed you to talk so late.
I met Dr. Einstein in London, and I might say that changed my life. You remember, I'd been in South Africa in the diamond business, Amsterdam in the diamond market. I wanted to go back to South Africa. And Dr. Einstein made that possible for me.
Yeah, good job, Johnny. When we took off the bandages, his face looked so different. The nurse had to introduce me.
I like that face. I still keep a picture of it.
Well, this looks more like the way you used to look. But I still wouldn't know you.
We should go back to that face, Doctor.
Yeah, it's safe now.
Well, I know you both want to get to wherever you're going to.
Oh, and Abby, after that delicious meal, I could not move a muscle.
Yeah, it's nice.
Found it! I found it!
What have you you found, Teddy?
The story of my life, my biography. General, here's the picture I was telling you about. Here we are, both of us. President Roosevelt, General Goethals of caliber cut. That's me, General, and that's you.
My, how I have changed.
Well, you see, this picture hasn't been taken yet. We haven't even started work on caliber cut. We're still digging the lots. And now, General, you will come with me and we will inspect the lot in Panama.
Oh, no, Teddy, not to Panama.
We go some other time. Panama is a long way off.
Nonsense, it's just down the cellar.
The cellar?
Oh, we'll let him dig the Panama Canal in the cellar.
General Goethals, as President of the United States, Commander-in-Chief of the Army and the Navy, and the man who gave you your job, I demand you come with me now to Panama and inspect the new lot.
Teddy, it's time you went to bed.
I beg your pardon. Who are you?
I'm Woodrow Wilson. Go to bed.
No, you're not Wilson. But your face is familiar. Let me see. You're not somebody I know now. Perhaps later, on my hunting trip to Africa. Yes, that's it. You look like somebody I might meet in the jungle.
It's your brother Jonathan, dear.
He's had his face changed.
So that's it. A nature faker.
And perhaps you had better go to bed, dear. Jonathan and his friend have to go back to their hotel.
General Goethals, go and inspect the canal.
All right, Mr. President, we go to Panama.
Woody! Follow me, General. It's down south, you know.
Well, over.
And Abby, I must correct your misapprehension. You spoke of our hotel. We do not have a hotel. We came directly here.
Oh, there's a very nice little hotel just 3 blocks down the...
This is my home.
But Jonathan, you can't stay here. We need our rooms.
You need them.
Yes, for our lodgers.
Are there lodgers in this house?
Well, not just now, but we plan to have some.
Well, my room is still free then.
But there's no place for Dr. Einstein.
Oh, he can share with me.
No, Jonathan, you can't stay here.
Abby, this afternoon, you remembered how disagreeable I could be as a boy. It would be very unpleasant for all of us if I had...
Well, perhaps we should let them stay for tonight.
Well, just for tonight, Jonathan.
Go and make my room ready.
Oh, it only needs airing out.
Yes, we keep it ready to show our lodgers. I think you and Dr. Einstein will find it comfortable.
And Dr. Einstein, you have a very distinguished guest. You do not appreciate his skills, but you soon will. In the next few weeks, you will see me looking like a very different child.
He can't operate on you here.
Oh, after Dr. Einstein and I get organized, or after we resume practice. Oh, I forgot to tell you, we intend to change Grandfather Brewster's surgery into an operating room. We expect to be very busy.
Oh, Jonathan, we will not let you turn this house into a hospital.
Hospital, no. A beauty parlor.
Johnny, now.
What? Doctor, my dear aunties have invited us to stay and live with them.
Well, just for tonight.
Go and make our room ready immediately. Huh?
Well, for tonight.
Hey, Johnny, when I go down to the the cellar, what do you think I find?
What?
It's a Panama Canal.
The Panama Canal.
It just fits Mr. Spinalzo. It's a whole teddy duck, 6 feet long and 4 feet wide.
Down there.
You would think they knew we were bringing Mr. Spinalzo along. That's hospitality.
You can't walk him in through the front door.
How did we get him in?
We'll bring the car around between the house and the cemetery. Then, when they all go to bed, we'll bring him in through the window.
Bed, just think, to get a bed tonight.
Yes. And I hope you're going to be sober because you're operating tomorrow.
Johnny, I fix you up beautiful.
And if you don't,
Jonathan, your room is ready.
we'll just bring the car around to the house.
Oh, it's all right where it is until morning.
We can't leave it in the street. That might be against the law.
Abby, what are we going to do?
Well, we're not going to let them stay in this house for more than one night for one thing. What would the neighbors think? People coming in with one face and going out with another?
Abby, what are we going to do about Mr. Hoskins?
Oh, Mr. Hoskins. Oh, it can't be very comfortable for him in there. And he's been so patient, the poor dear. Well, I think we better get Teddy to come up and take Mr. Hoskins down to the cellar right away.
Abby, I will not invite Jonathan to the funeral services.
Oh, no. We'll wait until they've gone to bed and then we'll hold the services.
Ooh, General Gottles is very pleased. He says the canal is just the right size.
Teddy, there's been another yellow fever victim.
Dear me, this won't be a shock to the General.
Then we mustn't tell him about it.
It's his department, though.
No, Teddy, we mustn't tell him. It would just spoil his visit.
I'm sorry, Aunt Abby. We have to tell him. Army regulations, you know.
No, we must keep it a secret. Yes.
A state secret?
Yes, a state secret. Promise?
You have the word of the President of the United States. Cross my heart and hope to die. Now, let's see. How are we going to keep this a secret?
Well, you go back down to the cellar, and when I turn out the lights, when it's all dark, you come up and take the poor man down to the cellar.
And we'll come down later and hold services.
You can announce that the President will say a few words. Where is the poor devil?
Oh, he's in the window seat.
It seems to be spreading. We've never had yellow fever there before.
When Jonathan and Dr. Einstein come back, let's see if we can get them to go to bed straight away.
Oh, yes. And by the time they're asleep, we'll be dressed for the funeral. Oh, Abby, I've never even seen Mr. Hoskins.
Oh my goodness, that's right. You were out. Well, you just come right over and see him now. He's really very nice looking, considering he's a Methodist.
We'll bring the luggage in through here.
Jonathan, your room is waiting for you. You can go right up.
I'm afraid we do not keep Brooklyn hours.
Now you must be very tired, both of you, and we don't go to bed this early.
But you should do it. I should be here to look after you.
Well, we weren't planning to go until much later.
Doc doctor. To take the instruments to the laboratory in the morning. Okay, I said. Now I'll go to bed. Eh? And Master, you run along. Okay? I told you to go. Now, and Abby, you all right? Right.
Well, I'll wait until you're up, and then I'll turn off the lights.
Okay. Right, Aunt Abby. Turn out the lights. Now.
Okay, Johnny.
Okay. Right. You go round outside and hand them in to me.
No, Johnny, it's too heavy for me. You go outside and push. I stay here and pull until together we get him down to Panama.
Okay, I'll go and look around outside. When I tap the window, you open up and let me in.
Let's drink him off. Tommy, somebody at the door. Quick! No, I'm not here.
Miss Abby, Miss Martha, Miss Abby, Miss Martha. Who is it? Is that you, Teddy? Who are you?
Who are you?
I'm Elaine Hopper. I live next door.
What are you doing here?
I came over to see Miss Abby and Miss Martha.
Doctor, put on the lights, huh? You pick an untimely moment for a social call.
I think you'd better explain what you're doing here.
We happen to live here.
You don't live here. I'm in this house every day, and I've never seen you before. Where are Miss Abby and Miss Martha?
Oh.
What have you done to them?
Perhaps we should introduce ourselves. This is Dr. Einstein.
Dr. Einstein?
Yes, something of an eminent surgeon, but still something of a magician.
And I suppose you're going to tell me you're Boris Karloff.
I'm Jonathan Brewster.
Oh, you're Jonathan.
Oh, I see you've heard of me.
Yes, just this afternoon for the first time.
What did they say about me?
Just said there was another brother named Jonathan, that's all. That's all that was said. Well, that explains everything. Now I know who you are. I'll just be running along back home with you candy and rock the
That
door.
explains everything. What do you mean by that? And what are you doing here this time of night?
I thought I saw someone prowling around the house. I suppose it was you.
You saw someone prowling around the house?
Yes, wasn't you outside? Isn't that your car?
You saw someone at the car?
Yes.
What else did you see?
Just that. Just someone walking around the house to the car.
What else did you see?
Just that, that's all. That's why I came over here. I wanted to tell Miss Abby to call the police. But if that was you, and that's your car, I don't need to bother Miss Abby.
I think you're lying.
I think she tells the truth. We let her go, eh, Johnny?
Oh, I think she's lying. She's dangerous, breaking into the house at this time of night. She should not be allowed to run alone.
Take your hands off me!
It's going to be a private funeral.
Teddy, tell these men who I am.
It's my daughter Alice.
No, Teddy!
Doctor, handkerchief? No, it's set.
What's the matter? What's happening down there? What's the matter?
You caught a burglar, a sneak thief.
We'll call the police.
No, we've called the police. We'll handle it. Go bed.
Mortimer, where have you been?
To annoy a bass hitter. I should have known better. Yikes, I'm still there.
This is your brother, Jonathan, and this is Dr. Einstein.
I know this isn't a nightmare, but what is it?
I've come home, Doctor.
Who do you say this was?
It's your brother, Jonathan. He's had his face changed. Dr. Einstein performed the operation.
My God, it is Jonathan. So you always were a horror, but you have to look like one.
Easy, Johnny. Easy.
Have you forgotten how when we were boys, how I used to deal with you? Do you remember being tied to the bedpost?
It is Jonathan, I remember.
And the needles under your fingernails?
Yeah. I remember you as the most detestable, vicious, venomous form of animal life I ever knew.
Now, don't you two boys start quarreling the minute you see one another.
Oh, there won't be any fight on, Abby. Jonathan, you're not wanted around here. Get out.
Dr. Einstein and I have been invited to stay.
Not in this house.
Just for tonight?
I don't want him anywhere near me.
Well, we did invite them for tonight, and it wouldn't be nice to go back on our word.
All right, tonight. But the first thing in the morning, out. Where are they sleeping?
Oh, we put them in Jonathan's old room.
Well, that's my old room. I'm sleeping in that room, and I'm here to stay.
Oh, Mortimer, I'm so glad.
Johnny, we sleep down here.
You bet your life you sleep down here.
You sleep on that sofa. I'll sleep on the window seat.
Window seat? There's no to argue about it. The window seat's good enough for me for tonight. I'll sleep on the window seat.
You know, Johnny, all this argument, it makes me think about Mr. Spinalzo.
Mr. Jonathan, Jonathan, don't want to inconvenience you in any way, Mortimer. You can have the room, huh?
Jonathan, your sudden consideration for me is most unconvincing.
Johnny, let's go up. Yeah, we get our things out of the room.
Yeah, don't bother, Doctor.
And Abby, we'll be down in a few minutes and Jonathan can have the room.
Mortimer, you don't have to sleep down here. I can go in with Martha, and then you can have my room.
He's just wasting his time. I told him I'm sleeping down here.
Mortimer,
Well, what's the matter, dear?
I've almost been killed.
You've almost been... Abby! Martha!
No, it was Jonathan.
He mistook her for a sneak thief.
No, it was more than that. He's some kind of maniac, Mortimer. I'm afraid of him.
Oh, my darling, you're trembling. Have you got any cement salts?
Oh, no, but do you think some hot tea or coffee?
Coffee. And make some for me, too. And some sandwiches. I haven't had any dinner.
That's what we'll do, dear. We'll make something for both of you.
We can leave our hats downstairs here now.
You weren't going out somewhere, were you? I mean, do you know what time it is? It's after 12. 12! Elaine, you gotta run along home.
What? We were going to make sandwiches for you both. It will take a minute.
Oh, don't you remember? I wanted to celebrate your engagement. Well, that's what we'll do, dear. We'll make a nice supper for both of you. And we'll open a bottle of wine.
All right. No wine!
Mortimer, what's going on in this house?
What do you mean, what's going on in this house?
Well, you were supposed to take me to dinner to the theatre tonight. You called it off. You asked me to marry you, I said I would. And 5 minutes later, you threw me out of the house. Tonight, just after your brother tries to strangle me, you want to chase me home. Now listen, Mr. Brewster, before I go home, I want to know where I stand. Do you love me?
I love you very much. In fact, I love you so much, I can't marry you.
Have you suddenly gone crazy?
I don't think so, but it's only a matter of time. You see, insanity runs in the family. It practically gallops.
Now listen, you've got to do better than that.
No, there's a strange taint in the Brewster blood. Oh, no. If you really knew my family as well, it's what you'd expect if Strindberg had written Hell's a Puppet.
Now, just because Ted is a little...
No. It goes way back. The first Brewster. The one who came over on the Mayflower. Well, you know in those days the Indians used to scout the settlers. But he used to scout the Indians.
Oh, Mortimer, that's ancient history.
No, it's the whole family. Well, take grandfather. He used to try out his patent medicines on dead people. But to be sure, he wouldn't kill them.
He wasn't so crazy. He made $1 million.
And then there's Jonathan. You just said he was a maniac. Then he tried to kill you.
But he's your brother, not you. And I'm in love with you.
And then there's Teddy. Hey, you know Teddy. He thinks he's Teddy Roosevelt. No, dear, no Brewster should marry. I realize now that if I met my father in time, I'd have stopped him.
Now, darling, all this doesn't prove that you're crazy. Just look at your hands. They're Brewsters, aren't they? And they're the sanest, sweetest people I've ever known.
Even they had their peculiarities.
Oh, what lovely peculiarities. Kindness, generosity.
There's another one.
Oh, darling, there are plenty of others. You can't tell me anything about your aunts.
I'm not going to. Look, you run along home, huh? Something's very important. It's just come up.
Oh, from where? We're here alone together.
Look, I know I'm acting irrationally. Just put it down to the fact that I'm a mad Brewster, huh?
If you think you're going to get out of this by pretending you're insane, you're crazy. Maybe you're not going to marry me, but I'm going to marry you. I love you, you dope.
Well, if you love me, will you get out of here?
Well, will you at least take me home? I'm afraid.
Afraid? And I'll walk through the cemetery?
Mortimer, will you kiss me good night?
Of course, dear. Good night, dear. I'll call you up tomorrow.
You critic.
Hello, Abby. I'm Martha. Come in here.
We'll be in a minute, dear.
Come in here now.
Yes, dear. What is it? Oh, where's Elaine?
I thought you promised me that you wouldn't let anyone in the house while I was gone.
Well, no, but Jonathan just walked in and...
I don't mean Jonathan.
But Dr. Einstein was with
I
him.
don't mean Dr. Einstein. Who's that in the window seat?
We told you, Mr. Hoskins.
It is not Mr. Hoskins.
Oh, well, who can that be?
Are you trying to tell me you've never seen this man before?
I certainly they can walk into this house?
Aunt Abby, don't you try that. That's another one of your gentlemen.
Why, Mortimer, how can you say such a thing? That man's an imposter. And if he came here to be buried in our cellar, he's mistaken.
Aunt Abby, you admitted to me that you put Mr. Hoskins in the window seat.
Yes, I did.
Well, he couldn't have just got the idea from Mr. Hoskins. By the way, where is Mr. Hoskins?
Oh, he must have gone to Panama.
Oh, are you buried him?
Oh, well, no, not yet, dear. He's down there waiting for the services. We haven't had a minute walk with Jonathan walking in the house, and oh, we've always wanted to hold a double funeral. But I will not read services over a total stranger.
Stranger? How can I believe you, Aunt Abby? There are 12 men in this cellar, and you admit that you poisoned them.
Yes, I did. But you don't think I tell a fib? Martha? Martha?
Mortimer, I'd like a word with you.
Yeah, well, a word is not all you got time for. I decided that you and your doctor friend are going to get out of this house just as soon as possible.
I'm pleased that you realize that you and I cannot live under the same roof. But you've come to the wrong solution. You pack your bag and you get out.
Jonathan, you're beginning to bore me. You played your one-night stand in Brooklyn. Move on.
Mortimer, you may have graduated from the backyard to the typewriter, but you have not grown up. You're going, and I'm staying, and I mean now.
Yeah, well, if you think I could be frightened, if you think there's anything I fear...
Jonathan is my name, Mortimer is your name. And I have lived a very strange life. And I have learned one thing. I am afraid of nothing.
Martha? Martha, just look and see what's in that window seat.
Jonathan, why don't you show Aunt Martha what's in the window seat? Aunt Abby, I owe you an apology. I've got some very good news for you. Jonathan is just leaving, and he's taking Dr. Einstein and his cold companion with him. Jonathan, you're my brother. You're a Brewster. I'm going to give you the chance to escape and take the evidence with you. You can't ask for more than that. All right, have it your way. I'll have to call the police.
Don't reach for that telephone. You're too old to be giving me orders. You do remember what happened to Mr. Spinazzo?
Spinazzo? I knew he was a foreigner.
What happened to Mr. Spinazzo can happen to you.
Oh, Officer O'Hara, is there something we can do for you?
Oh, I saw your lights on and thought there might be sickness in the house. Oh, you got company. I'm sorry I disturbed you.
No, come right in.
Yes, come in.
Oh, come right in, Officer O'Hara. Oh, this is our nephew, Mortimer.
Pleased to meet you.
And this is another nephew, Jonathan.
Pleased to make your acquaintance. Well, it must be nice having your nephews visiting you. They're going to stay with you for a bit?
I'm staying. My brother Jonathan is just leaving.
I've met you here before, haven't I?
Oh, no, Jonathan hasn't been home for years.
Your face looks familiar to me. Maybe I've seen a picture of you somewhere.
I don't think so.
Yeah, well, I'd hurry if I were you, Jonathan. Your things are all packed anyway, aren't they?
Well, you're going to want to say goodbyes. I'll be running along.
Hey, what's the rush? I'd like to have you stick around until my brother goes.
I just popped in to make sure everything was all right.
Oh, we're just going to have some coffee. Won't you join us?
I forgot the coffee.
Oh, and I'd better make some more sandwiches. I ought to know your appetite by this time, Officer O'Hara.
Oh, no, don't bother. I'm due to ring in a few minutes.
Oh, you can have a cup of coffee. My brother will be gone soon. Sit down.
Say, ain't I seen a photograph of your brother around here someplace?
I don't think so.
He certainly reminds me of somebody.
He probably looks like someone you've seen in the movies.
Nah, I never go to the movies. I hate them. My mother says the movies is a rat's race.
Yeah, well, it's full of them. Your mother said that?
Yeah, she was an actress. Stage actress. Maybe you've heard of her. Peaches Latour.
It sounds like a name I've seen on a program. What did she play?
Well, her big hit was Mud and Jeff. Played him for 3 years. I was born on tour, the 3rd season.
Yeah, you would.
Yep, Sioux City, Iowa. I was born in the dressing room at the end of the 2nd act. And Mother made the finale.
What a trooper. I bet there's a good story in your mother. Hey, you know I write about the theater.
You do? Say, you're not Mortimer Brewster, the dramatic critic.
Yes.
Oh, well, I certainly am glad to meet you. Say, Mr. Brewster, we're in the same line of business.
Oh, we are?
Yeah, I'm a playwright. Though this being on the force is just temporary.
And how long have you been on the force?
12 years. I'm collecting material for a play.
I'll bet it's a honey.
Well, I don't want to be what with all the drama I see in the cup. Mr. Brewster, you got no idea what goes on in Brooklyn.
Oh, I think I have.
Say, what time you got?
10 after 1.
Gee, I got a ring in.
Oh, wait a minute. On that play of yours, I may be able to help you.
You would? Say, it's fake my walking in tonight. Look, I'll tell you the plot.
Okay. You have to.
All right then.
Okay, you tell me the plot.
Okay, so it starts off in Brooklyn.
You're on your way, huh? Good. You haven't got much time, you know.
Well, everything's just about ready. Oh, are you leaving, Jonathan? Goodbye. Goodbye, Dr. Einstein. Oh, doesn't that case belong to you?
Yeah, you can't leave without taking all of your things with you. Hara, it's really nice to meet you. We'll get together again and we'll talk about your play, huh?
Oh, I'm not going now, Mr. Brewster.
Oh, why not?
Well, you just offered to help me with my play, didn't you? You and me are going to write my play together.
I can't do that, O'Hara. I'm not a creative writer.
I'll do the creating. You just put the words to it.
O'Hara,
No, sir, Mr. Brewster. I am leaving this house till I tell you the plot.
We'll be running along then. Can I get my case?
So you tried out taking everything with you, you know.
Yeah.
O'Hara, look, you run along now. My brother's just going.
I can wait. I've been waiting 12 years.
No, officer. That way.
Not in here, not in here.
Oh, but Officer O'Hara, you want to join us in the kitchen then?
Yeah. You join for a bite to eat in the kitchen, huh?
You sure you don't mind eating in the kitchen?
Where else would you eat?
I might have known you'd write a play with them. Grew up and write a play with the police.
Well, I'm glad you came back to Brooklyn. This gives me the chance to throw you out. And the first one out is your boyfriend, Mr. Spinalzo. Now get going, all 3 of you.
Mr. Brewster, what are you talking now?
Get out, come on.
Where's the other case? Okay.
Johnny, we got trouble enough. Your brother gives us a chance to get a play. What more could you ask?
Doctor, all he's got in us is this here.
Johnny, let's get going, eh?
No, we take Mr. Spinalzo down to the
With
bay.
a cop in the kitchen and Mr. Spinalzo on the window seat, let's get going.
No.
Johnny!
Okay, let's go on, huh? You know Boy, when I make up my mind, I stick with it.
But now I didn't make up your mind to use your head. We can leave a good place for you.
Oh, Doctor.
Johnny.
You're forgetting, Doctor. You're forgetting, Doctor. We get stuck together forever.
Okay, we got to stick together. Someday we get stuck together. Now, if you're coming back here, do I got to take these with us?
No, you take them up into my room. No, wait. They're there, he's there. Put it in the cellar, eh? Put them in the cellar. Let's see what's in here.
Hey, Johnny, down in the cellar.
What?
You know that hole down in the cellar?
Yeah.
But we got this in the hole. Come on, I'll show you.
Okay.
Jonathan? Jonathan!
Yes,
John?
Mama.
I thought I told you to go.
We're staying.
Why are you worried? You think I'm not serious? You want O'Hara to know what's in the window seat?
You tell O'Hara what's in the window seat, and I'll tell him what's down in the cellar.
The cellar?
Yeah, there's an elderly gentleman down there who looks quite dead.
What were you two doing in the cellar?
What's he doing in the cellar?
Oh, thanks, ma'am. They were fine. I had plenty.
What am I gonna tell
Say,
O'Hara?
Mr. Brewster, your aunt's one hit the plot too. Shall I get him in here?
You can't do that now. You gotta ring in.
The hell we're ringing in. Look, I'll get your aunts in here and tell you the plot.
And not in front of all these people. We'll get together alone someplace later.
How about the back room, the Kellys?
All right, fine. You go and ring in, I'll meet you at Kenny's.
Why don't you do it in the cellar?
Ah, that's all right with me. Is this the cellar?
No, we'll go to Kenny's, huh? We gotta ring in on the way.
All right, that'll only take a couple of minutes.
I'll ditch this guy and be back in 5 minutes, and I expect to find you two gone. No, hold on. Wait for me, huh?
Oh, we'll wait for him.
Why does he look guilty?
Yeah.
Don't fight for me, Ron.
You can take the bags back up to the room. We're okay now, I think. Yeah.
Oh, we thought we heard somebody leave.
Oh, only Mortimer, but he'll be back in a minute. Say, is there any food left in the kitchen?
Oh, I don't think you'll have time.
Oh, and if you're still here when Mortimer gets back, he won't like it.
You like it. He's gotta like it.
We think that having eaten, we can be down there and bury Mr. Spinoza in the cellar.
We will not have our cellar desecrated.
He can't stay in our cellar, Jonathan. No, you've got to take him out of here.
Mr. Hoskins, you know what's in the cellar?
Yeah, but Mr. Hoskins, we know Mr. Hoskins. He isn't a stranger.
Mr. Hoskins?
Yes.
Yes, he's one of our gentlemen.
Your gentleman?
You know what's down in that cellar?
Besides, there's no room for Mr. Spinozzo. The cellar's crowded already.
Crowded with what?
There are 12 graves down there now.
12 graves?
Yes, that leaves very little room, and we're going to need it.
12 graves? You mean you've murdered?
Murdered? Certainly not. It's one of our charities.
Yes, what we've been doing is a mercy.
So you get your Mr. Spinozzo out of here.
You've done that in this house, and you buried them down there.
Johnny, we've been chased all over the world. They stay right here in Brooklyn. I mean, they're just as good as you, though.
No, I've got 13.
No, Johnny, 12.
Oh, 13.
You've got 12 and they've got 12.
and then the first one in London, 2 in Johannesburg, 1 in Melbourne, 1 in Sydney, 3 in San Francisco, and 1 in Phoenix, Arizona.
Phoenix?
Yeah, the Fairlink station. 3 in Chicago and 1 in South Bend.
But he can't counterfeit in South Bend. He died of pneumonia.
He wouldn't have caught pneumonia if I hadn't shot him.
No, Johnny, he don't count. You've got 12, and they've got 12. The old ladies are just as good as you are.
Is that so? Well, that's easily rectified. All I need is 1 more. Just 1 more.
Well, here I am.
This is our house and this is our cellar. You can't do that.
Please, get back upstairs where you belong!
Everyone wants to go upstairs.
There's no use you doing what you're doing. You'll just have to be calmed down.
I'm telling you, you better stop it right now.
All right? You'll find out. You'll find out whose house this is.
I'm warning you. You just stop it right now. Hasn't Mortimer come back yet? No. It's a terrible thing to do. To bury Mr. Spinazzo, a good Methodist, with a foreigner.
Oh, well, I will not have our cellar desecrated.
No, and we promised Mr. Hoskins a full Christian funeral. Where do you suppose Mortimer went?
Oh, I don't know, but he must be doing something because he said to Jonathan, "You just wait, I'll settle this."
Well, he can't very well settle it when he's out of the house. And all we want settled is what's going on down there.
Right, now, where's Teddy?
Mortimer, where have you been?
Well, I've been over to Dr. Gilchrist. I've got a signature on Teddy's commitment papers.
Mortimer, what is the matter with you?
Running around getting papers signed at a time like this?
Do you know what Jonathan's doing?
He's putting Mr. Hoskins and Mr. Spinazzo in together.
Oh, he is he? Well, let him. Is Teddy in his room?
Teddy won't be any help.
Well, when I can get his signature on these papers, I can tackle Jonathan.
Well, what have they got to do with it?
You had to go and tell Jonathan about your 12 gentlemen. If I can make Teddy responsible for them, well, I can protect you, don't you see?
Well, no, I don't see. And we pay taxes to have the police protect us.
Anyway, I'll be back down in a minute.
Oh, come on, Martha. We're going to go for the police.
All right. The police. You can't go for the police.
Why?
Well, if you tell them about Mr. Spinazzo, they'll find Mr. Hoskins. And that might make them a little curious, and they might find your other 12 gentlemen.
Oh, Mortimer, we know the police better than you do. I don't think they'd pry into our private affairs if we asked them not to.
If they found your 12 gentlemen, they'll have to report it to headquarters.
Oh, I'm not so sure they'd bother. It would be filling out a very long report. And if there's one thing a policeman hates to do, it's to write.
You can't depend on that. It might leak out. And you couldn't expect a judge and jury to understand.
Oh, Judge Coleman would.
Yes, we know him very well.
Yes, he always comes to church to pray just before an election.
He's coming here to tea someday, he promised.
Oh, yes, Abby. We must speak to him again about that. His wife died a few years ago, and it's left him very lonely.
Well, come on, Mother.
No, I won't let you. You can't have Judge Coleman to tea.
Well, if you're not going to do something about Mr. Spinazzo, we are.
I am going to do something. And I might have to call the police in later. But if we do, I want to be ready for them.
You've got to get Jonathan out of this house.
And Mr. Spinazzo, too.
Will you please let me do this my own way?
Well, if they're not out of the house by morning, we're going to call the police.
Oh, they'll be gone. Now go to bed with you. And for goodness sake, get out of those clothes. You look like Judith Anderson.
Oh, well, Abby, that's a relief, isn't it?
Yes, if Mortimer really is going to do something at last, then Jonathan is just going to a lot of unnecessary trouble. I think we better tell him. Jonathan, you better stop what you're doing.
It's done. Did I hear Mortimer?
Well, it will just have to be undone. You're all going to be out of this house by morning. Mortimer's promised.
Well, in that case, you and Aunt Martha can run along to bed and have a good, peaceful night's sleep.
Yes, come, Abby.
Good night, Andes.
Not good night, Jonathan. Goodbye. By the time we get up in the morning, you'll be out of this house. Mortimer's promised.
And he has a way of doing it, too.
Perhaps you should say goodbye to Mortimer.
Oh, you'll see Mortimer.
Ah, yes, I'll see Mortimer.
Phew, that's all fixed up. Smooth as a lick. No one would ever notice it down there. Oh, that bed feels good already. 48 hours we did not sleep. Come on, Johnny. Let's go up there.
You've forgotten, Doctor.
Far off. We do that tomorrow as the next.
No, you've forgotten my brother Mortimer.
Johnny, I'm tired, and tomorrow I got to operate.
No, we do this tonight.
Please, Johnny. Please, not
You're
tonight.
going
we're
to
gonna-
operate tomorrow. Now look into my eyes. You can see it's going to be done, can't you?
Ah, Johnny, I
This
can...
is not a good time to terminate our engagement.
Okay, we got to stick together. Someday we get stuck together.
Now, we need to work out a way to get rid of Mortimer.
Okay, we do it with the quick way. The quick twist like in London.
No, let's go for something special. I think the Melbourne method, eh?
No, Johnny, not that. 2 hours. And when it was all over, what? The fellow in London was just as dead as the fellow in Melbourne.
We had no time in London. There was no aesthetic satisfaction. I think we do the Melbourne method. Now that Melbourne method, that is something to remember.
Remember, I wish I could forget. No, John.
Yes!
Not Melbourne, not me.
Yes, where are your
I
instruments?
won't do it, Johnny. I won't do it.
Get your instruments.
No, Johnny.
Where did you hide them?
I won't tell you.
Down in the cellar. I'll go and get them.
Oh, don't do that, Mr. President.
I cannot sign a proclamation without consulting my cabinet.
But it must be a secret.
A secret proclamation? How unusual.
Japan mustn't know until it's signed.
Those devils. I'll sign it at once. You have my word on it. I can let the cabinet know later.
Yeah, let's go and sign it, huh?
No, a secret proclamation has to be signed in secret.
Oh, but at once, Mr. President.
I have to put on my signing clothes. Shut!
You go now, eh?
No, Doctor, I'm waiting for something. Something important.
Please, go now.
Dr. Einstein, I've got nothing against you personally. You seem like a nice fellow. Take my advice and get out of here. To get just as far away as possible.
Trouble. Yeah. Get away quick.
Don't say I didn't warn you.
I'm warning you. Get out.
Things are gonna start popping around here any minute.
Listen, Johnny's in a bad mood. days like that, things happen. Terrible.
Jonathan doesn't worry me now.
Ah, Emma, don't this prejudice teach you anything?
About what?
Well, at least the people in players act like they got sense. That's more than you do.
Ah, you think so, do you? You think people in plays act intelligently? I wish you had to sit through some of the stuff I had to sit through. Take the little opus I saw tonight. In this play, there's a man who's supposed to be bright. He knows he's in a house full of murderers. He's even been warned to get out of the house. But does he go? No, he stays there. Now I ask you, Doctor, is that what an intelligent person would do?
You're asking me?
He doesn't even have the sense to be frightened, to be on guard. For instance, the murderer invites him to sit down.
You mean, won't you sit down?
Believe it or not, that one was in there too.
And what does he do?
He sat down. Now, mind you, this fellow is supposed to be bright. But there he sits, just waiting to be trussed up. And what do you think they used to tie him up with?
What?
The curtain cord.
Well, why not? A good idea. Very convenient.
A little too convenient. I mean, when a playwright's going to use some imagination. The curtain cord.
He didn't see him get it.
See him? He sat there with his back to him. This is the kind of stuff I have to sit through night after night. And they say the critics are killing the theatre. It's the playwrights who are killing the theatre. So, there he sits. This big dog. This fellow was supposed to be bright. Just sitting there and waiting to be trussed up and gagged. Hey, what?
And now, Mortimer, if you don't mind, we'll finish the story.
You're right about that fellow. He wasn't very bright.
I've been away for 25 years, Mortimer. And in those 25 years, you were never out of my mind for one moment. In Melbourne one night, I dreamt of you. When I landed in San Francisco, I had a strange satisfaction because I was back in the same country as you. Now,
Please, Johnny, for me, it's a quick way.
no, Doctor, this requires artistic sophistication.
John!
After all, we are performing before a very distinguished critic.
Johnny!
Now, Doctor, it's almost ready for you.
I gotta have a drink. I can't resist without a drink. When we came here this afternoon, there was wine here, remember? Now, where did you put that? Look, Johnny, we got a drink. That's all for you. I split it with you.
Ah, Doctor, we're manners. Mortimer, when I came back to Brooklyn, I came back because of you. You were a fine family. So, Doctor, to my dear, dead brother, Okay, we do it the quick way.
That's the quick way, huh?
Yeah, the quick way.
Hey! The Colonel's got to quit blowing that horn.
Okay, we'll take the bugle away from them.
We promised the neighbors he wouldn't do that no more. It's going to be hell to pay in the morning.
They won't do it again, officer.
Better speak to him myself. All right. Hey! He stood me up. I waited an hour at Kelly's for you. What happened to him?
He was explaining a play he saw tonight. That's what happens to the fellow in the play.
Did they have that in the play you saw tonight? Gee, they practically stole that from the second act of my play. Why, my play, right? But I better begin at the beginning. It opens in my mother's dressing room, where I was born. Only I ain't born yet. No. All right, she's sitting there, making up scene, when all of a sudden, in through the door, a man with a black mustache walks in. He turns to my mother and he says, "Mr. Tor, will you marry me?" He doesn't know she's pregnant. She's lying there across the table, unconscious, in a lingerie. The killer's standing over her with a hatchet. I'm tied up in a chair, just like you are. The place is an inferno of flames. It's on fire. When suddenly, in through the window, comes Mayor LaGuardia. Hey! Go easy on that.
But I'm listening, ain't I?
How do you like it so far?
It put Johnny to sleep.
Let him alone. If he ain't got no more patience than that, you don't get a drink. Alright, so 3 days later, I've been transferred and I'm under charges. That's because somebody stole my badge. Right, I'm walking up Staten Island, 46th precinct, when a guy I'm following, turns out, is following me. I don't let anyone in. Alright, so I figure I'll outsmart him. There's a vacant house on the corner. I goes in.
It's a cop.
I stands there in the dark and I see the door handle turn.
Johnny, it's a cop.
I pulls my guns. I braces myself against the wall and I yells, "Come in!" Hey,
What the heck is going on here?
hey, Pat. What do you know? This is Mortimer and Brewster. Starting my play with me. Telling him the story.
Did you have to tie him up to make him listen to it? You better report in at the station. The whole force is out looking for you.
They send you here for me.
I didn't know you was here. I came to warn the old ladies there's hell to pay. The colonel blew that bugle again in the middle of the night. And from the way the neighbors have been calling in about it, it said the Germans had dropped a bomb on Flatbush Avenue. Lieutenant's on the warpath. He says the colonel's got to be put away someplace.
Yeah. Yeah!
Gee, Mr. Brewster, I've got to get away, so I'll just run through the third act quick.
Get away from me.
Did you know what time it is? It's after 8 o'clock in the morning.
It is? Gee, Mr. Brewster, them first 2 acts run a little long, but I don't see anything we can leave out.
You can leave it all out.
Who the heck is that guy?
That is my brother.
Oh, the one that ran away, so he came back.
Yeah, he came back.
Brophy, this is Mac, this is Brophy. Lieutenant, tell Lieutenant you can call a big manhunt off. He's here, in the Brewster house. Do you want him brought in? Oh, okay. We'll just stay right here. Lieutenant's on his way over.
So somebody turned me in. Okay, you got me. I suppose you and this stool-pigeon brother of mine are clinging to the wall.
You what?
I'm now gonna do some turning in my own. You guys think my answer to sweet charming old ladies. But there are 13 bodies buried in their cellar.
Teddy, what are you talking about? You better be careful what you're saying about Joanne. They happen to be good friends of mine.
I'll prove it to you. I'll show you. There are 13 bodies down there.
Now, wait a minute.
There are 13 bodies down there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I'm going to show you. You don't want to know. You don't want to go to the cellar.
I'm not sure I want to be down in the cellar with a guy that looks like Boris Karloff. Get off me! What do you know about that?
Come in.
Perfect. What are you doing here? I told you I was going to handle this.
Sir, I was just about to...
Now, turn him over. Let me have a look at him.
This ain't the guy that blows the bugle. This is his brother, Mac. He tried to kill me. All I said was he looked like Boris Karloff.
Oh,
I think he's wanted somewhere.
you kind of think he's wanted somewhere. Well, if you don't read the circulars we put up in the station, at least you could read True Detective. Why, sure he's wanted somewhere. In Indiana, in an institution for the criminally psychotic.
He said there were 13 bodies down in the cellar. Thought all along he took kind of crazy.
It's Shakespeare. What are you doing here?
I've been writing a play with Mortimer and Brewsters, sir.
Yeah? Well, you're going to have plenty of time to write that play, because you're suspended. Now get back and report it.
Can I come over sometime, sir?
No, don't get out of here. Get out of here. Now take that guy someplace, Brophy. And find out about his accomplice. You know, the one that's wanted, you know, because he's wanted too. Gee, no wonder Brooklyn's in the state it's in with flatheads like you on the police force. I believe in a story like that. 13 bodies in the cellar.
But there are 13 bodies in the cellar.
Who are you?
I'm President Brewster.
Brophy, who is this?
This is the fellow that blows the bugle. Good morning, Colonel.
Well, Colonel, you've blown your last bugle.
Dear me, another yellow fever victim?
Now get that guy out of here.
Oh, Colonel, this is a spy we caught in the White House.
Right, if there's any questioning, that's my department.
No, you keep out of this.
You're forgetting, as president, I'm also head of the Secret Service.
Captain, I'm Mortimer and Brewster.
Are you sure?
I'd like to talk to you about my brother, Teddy, the one who blew the bugle.
No, we ain't going to talk about that, Mr. Brewster. He's got to be put away.
Oh, I quite agree. In fact, it's all arranged for. I've had his commitment papers signed by Dr. Gilchrist, our family physician. And Teddy signed them himself, and I've signed them as next of kin.
So where's he going?
Happydale.
Oh, I don't care where he goes, as long as he goes.
Oh, he's going all right. Now, I want you to know that everything that's happened around here, Teddy is responsible for. Now, those 13 bodies in the cellar.
Yeah, those 13 bodies in the cellar. If it ain't enough that he's scaring the neighbour half to death and disturbing the peace with that bugle blowing, can you imagine what had happened if he came out with that cockeyed story about 13 bodies in the cellar? And now he's starting a yellow fever scare. Cute, ain't it?
13 bodies. Would anybody believe that story?
Well, some people are just dumb enough. You don't know what to believe sometimes. Why, only last year, a really crazy guy started a murder rumour over in Greenpoint. And I ended up having to dig up a whole half-acre lot just to prove that...
Will you excuse me, huh?
Good morning,
Hello, dear.
This is Mr. Witherspoon who's come to meet Teddy.
Meet Teddy?
Mr. Witherspoon's the superintendent of Happydale.
Oh, come right in. This is Captain,
Lieutenant Beauly. Pleased to meet you. The paper's signed and he's going today.
Today? I didn't know that.
Not today.
Oh, look, Elaine.
Insubordination.
Look, Elaine, I've got some important business to attend to. You just run along home.
You men will find out I'm no mollycoddle. when the President of the United States is treated like this? What's this country coming to?
God, there's your man, Super.
Just a minute. Mr. President, I've got some very good news for you. Your term of office is over.
Is it March the 4th?
Practically.
Let me see now. Oh, I go on my hunting trip to Africa. Well, I must get started immediately. Is he trying to move in the White House before I move out?
Who, Teddy?
Taft!
Oh, that's not Mr. Taft. That's Mr. Witherspoon. He used to be your guide in Africa.
Oh, bully! I shall bring down my equipment at once. Tell the people to tell the safari to wait for me. I'm going to go and collect my goods. Goodbye, Aunt Abby. Goodbye, Aunt Martha. I'm going to Africa. Isn't it wonderful? Yeah!
Good morning, aunties.
Hi, visitors.
This is Lieutenant Rooney.
Oh, Lieutenant Bruni, how do you do? My, you don't look like the fussbudget the policemen say you are.
Oh, why the lieutenant is here. You know Teddy blew his bugle again last night.
Oh, yes, we're going to speak to him again about that.
I'm sorry, Miss Brewster. It's just a little bit more serious than that.
And you haven't met Mr. Witherspoon.
Oh, Mr.
He's the
Wilson.
superintendent of Happy Day.
How do you do?
You've come to meet Teddy.
No, he's come to take him.
Oh,
Geez, the police want him to go there today.
no.
Oh, no, not while we're alive.
Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Brewster. The superintendent's here, the papers are signed, and he's going along with the superintendent.
No, we won't permit it. We'll promise to take the bugle away from him.
Oh, we won't be separated from Teddy.
No, I'm sorry, ladies, but the law's the law. He's committed himself, so he's going.
Well, if he goes, we're going too.
Yes, you'll have to take us with him.
Oh, why not?
Well, if Sweden want to, but it's impossible. You see, we can't take sane people at Happydale.
Oh, Mr. Witherspoon, if you let us live there with Teddy, we'll see that Happydale is in our will, and for a very generous amount.
Well, Lord knows we could use the money.
Now, let's be sensible about this, ladies. For instance, here I am, wasting my time when I've got serious work to do. Do you know there are still murders to be solved in Brooklyn?
Yeah. I mean, are there?
Yeah, it's not only his bugle blowing and scaring the neighbours, but, sooner or later, we may even have to dig up your cellar.
Our cellar?
Yeah, your nephew's been telling around that there are 13 bodies in your cellar.
Oh, but there are 13 bodies.
Yes, if you think that's why Teddy has to go away, well, we'll take you down there and we'll prove it to you.
Yes, you come with us and we'll show you the graves.
I don't think the lieutenant wants to go down in the cellar. He was just telling me he had to dig up a half-acre lot, wasn't it?
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, but he wouldn't have to dig here. The graves are all marked. We put flowers on them every Sunday.
Flowers? Flowers? God, Superintendent, don't you think you'd find room for these ladies?
Well, why don't you bring the papers and we'll sign them?
Yeah, Teddy committed himself. Can't they commit themselves? Can't they sign the papers?
Yes, I
Yes,
suppose.
right on there.
Yes, we're on.
He's just coming around, Lieutenant.
Oh, Mr. Brophy.
Oh, you're here too, Mr. Brophy.
Yeah, I got your other nephew out in the kitchen.
Well, come on, sign him up, Superintendent. I want to get this all cleaned up. God, 13 bodies.
If you'll sign here,
Yeah, and you here are heavy.
Oh, I'm really looking forward to going. The neighborhood here has changed so.
Oh, just think, our front lawn again.
we're overlooking something.
What?
We're going to need the signature of a doctor.
Dr. Einstein, we'd like you to come over here and sign some papers.
Please, I must.
Just come right over, Doctor. Only last night I thought the doctor was going to operate on me. Just sign right here, Doctor. That's it, Doctor.
Were you leaving, Doctor?
I think I must go.
Aren't you going to wait for Jonathan?
I don't think we're going to the same place.
Oh, Elaine, I'm glad to see you. You stick around, huh?
Don't worry, I'm going to.
Mac, it's Rooney here. We've got that guy from Indiana that's wanted. The one that's wanted from this psychotic unit. Now, there's a description of his accomplice on the desk in front of you. Now, read it to me. Right, okay, yeah. About 40, blue eyes, 120 pounds, speaks with a German accent, and poses as a doctor. Right, thanks, Mac.
Well, it's all right, Lieutenant. The doctor here has just completed the signatures.
Ah, thanks, Doc. You've really done putting us well.
Mr. Brewster, sign now, and next to the kid.
Yeah, why? Just here?
That's fine.
Now, that's everything legal and everything complete.
Oh, yes, yes.
Oh, well, now, Auntie, that's you safe.
When do you think you'll be ready to start?
Oh, well, why don't you go upstairs and tell Teddy what he can take along with him?
Upstairs?
I'll show you.
No, Martha, you stay here. We want to speak to you. Yes, upstairs, Mr. Witherspoon. Upstairs and turn to the left. You turn to the left.
Now, Mortimer, now that we're leaving, this house really is yours.
Yes, we want you to live here now, dear.
Oh, no, Aunt Abby, this house is too full of memories.
Oh, but you need a home when you and Elaine are married.
Now, that's very indefinite.
It's nothing of the kind. We're going to be married right away. Mortimer, we're really very worried about something.
Oh, don't worry, you're going to love it at Happydale.
Oh, it's not that, dear. We're really looking forward to Happydale. But, will we check these signatures?
Oh, don't worry. They're not going to look up Dr. Einstein.
Oh, it's not his signature, dear.
No, you see, you signed as next of kin.
Yeah, why? Why not? Of course.
Well, you see, dear,
Your mother came to us as a cook, and you were born 3 months later. And she was such a sweet soul and such a good cook. Brother married her.
so, you see, dear, you're not really a Brewster.
I'm not really a Brewster.
Oh, don't be upset about it, dear.
And Elaine, it won't make any difference to you.
Elaine, did you hear? I mean, do you understand? I'm not really a Brewster.
Well, I better get breakfast started.
Don't worry, Mortimer's coming over to my house. Father's gone to Philadelphia, and we're going to have coffee together.
I need some coffee. It's been quite a night.
Well, in that case, I should think you want to get to bed.
I do.
One moment, Witherspoon. Take this with you. Charge!
Brophy, no need to take the wagon. My car's out front.
Oh, you're leaving now, Jonathan?
Yeah, there's some people in Indiana want to take care of him for the rest of his life.
Oh, wow, Jonathan, I'm glad you've got some place to go to.
Yes, we're leaving too.
We're going to Happydale.
So this house has seen the last of the Brewsters.
Unless Mortimer wants to live here.
I have a suggestion to make. Why don't you turn it over to the church?
Oh, we never thought of that.
After all, it should be part of our cemetery.
Oh, come on. Let's get going. I'm a busy man.
Just a moment. I can't better my record, but I have the satisfaction of knowing that neither can you. So the score stands even, 12 to 12.
That Jonathan, he always was a mean boy. Never could stand to see anyone get ahead of him.
No, I wish there was some way that we could show him he isn't so smart. Mr. Witherspoon, does your family live with you in Happydale?
I have no family.
Well, perhaps you consider everyone at Happydale your family.
I'm afraid you don't quite understand. As head of the institution, I have to remain quite aloof.
Oh, that must make it very lonely for you.
It does, but my duty is my duty.
Well, Martha, well, I think if Mr. Witherspoon can join us for breakfast, the least we can do is offer him a glass of our elderberry wine.
Elderberry wine?
Oh, we make this ourselves.
Why, yes. Of course, in Happydale, our relationship will have to be more formal, but here, you don't see much elderberry wine these days. I thought I'd had my last glass of it.
Oh, no.
No, here it is.
Arsenic Old Lace. A big thank you to Mike and Dawn for all the technical help. It certainly made quite a difference. Set tonight, I'm sure that you'll agree, is amazing, and the cast have put in a huge amount of work. And there's two people that we really do have to thank, especially, and that's Jack and Kathy. If you can step forward, Jack. Jack and Kathy have spent many years doing amateur dramatics and very talented husband and wife, and we're very lucky to have them in the area here, and they're really trying hard to bring amateur dramatics back into the local communities, and I hope that you agree that it's really great what they're trying to do. And they're recruiting lots of new members all the time, so if there's anybody here that has a busting desire to get up on the stage, then please come and join us, because there's always bigger productions that we can do, and we need more people for those. So thanks again for coming and supporting the play tonight, and I just leave you with the Beauly Theatre Club. Thank you.